Hey everyone, welcome to the Married to the Market podcast. I'm Camry Stoffel, wife, mom of 3, salon owner, and full-time realtor with Town & Country Realtors.
And I am Chance Stoffel, husband, father, and mortgage lender with Motto Mortgage Preferred Partners. We are married to each other and we are kind of married to the market too.
Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for content and educational purposes only. We're sharing stories, insights, and opinions from our experiences in the industry.
We also want to disclose that Town & Country Realtors and Motto Mortgage Preferred Partners are partnered companies. And yes, we are legally married, just keeping everything transparent so we can stay compliant.
This podcast is where we get real about marriage, parenting, and real estate. The messy, exciting, sometimes overwhelming, but always meaningful parts of life. If you're building a home, a family, or a future, you're in the right place. Episode number 5.
The 80-10-10 rule for real estate and the 80-20 rule for marriage.
So rarely are you going to find a house when you're buying that has 100% of what you're looking for. You know, it's never going to check off all the things. And you know, there's always going to be something that you don't love about it.
The sooner we realize that, I think the happier you'll be, because nothing's ever perfect. So
yeah,
as we get into this, the 80-10-10 rule will help you better shop for homes.
Yeah.
And better understand some of the trade-offs that you're willing to sacrifice, and then be appreciative of the things that the house does provide. So
it's been something that I've been telling my buyers when I'm shopping with them, especially when I have shown them a few properties and there's always 1 or 2 things that they don't love about the property. I kind of like stop everyone, like, okay, listen, I'm going to tell you the 80-10-10 rule on buying a home, because it's mindset changing when you are shopping and it's really helpful. So the 80-10-10 explained 80% of the property you have to love. And that has to be things that obviously aren't going to change. So location, style of the home, land, acreage.
the price.
Pretty important.
Love that.
Yes. And those certain things that you really can't change about the property, you do have to love, because you're kind of stuck with it at that point.
Yeah.
The next is the 10. So 10 is what you can change. And that could be the layout of the home. You know, if it doesn't have an extra bedroom, you can add in a bedroom.
A lot of things.
Landscaping,
faucet fixtures, appliances,
countertops,
literally everything. But
everything.
Landscaping's huge, right? That's something we did after we bought.
Yeah. And that kind of goes into like budgeting too. Like, you need to make sure and budget for these repairs, but they are repairs that can get changed. And then the last 10 are things that you can live with or live without. Maybe it doesn't have a walk-in closet that you wanted, or maybe it doesn't have a wraparound porch, but it does have a back porch and it does have a front porch. You know, little things that, like, dang it, I really wanted that, but I can live without it. Or
something I've mentioned to Camry lately is like maybe creating a checklist for her borrowers, because she does tend to walk a lot of properties to help accommodate her borrowers, but that can also work against you if they don't have a clear criteria of what they're looking for. So if you are buying, taking this, into account, and then kind of holding yourself accountable if there are non-negotiables for that 10% that you can't live with and you're not willing to live without. But just know, so that way you're not walking properties, because if it's a hard pass for you, don't bother. Just move on.
Yeah. And there's been plenty of homes where I've walked, like, you can't tell in photos. You really have to get in there. And I tell that to my buyers too. Like, don't feel bad for taking me to a property, or, me taking you to a property, but like, and then the moment we walk in, you're like, this is not it. Like, cool, this isn't it. Let's leave. You're not wasting anybody's time. Like, let's be for sure on what we're looking at. And like, if you don't like it, great, we'll move on to the next one. But
we talked to a friend the other day. They were looking for a house, and as they were shopping, the realtor got there before they got there, and she was walking out of the house as he was walking up to the house, and she pretty much said, like, you're not gonna like this house. Like, this is not the one. And they all but left. So I think they still walked through it, but she knew, but she didn't know until she also looked at it. So she knew the buyer's criteria and what he wanted. Mm-hmm. And it just took her going there to realize that it photographed really well and it had a lot of flaws. So
Yeah, and I'm pretty open about that too. Like I'll walk through a house and I'll say, "This photographed great, so be cautious," or "This actually did not photograph at all, and it's beautiful." Personally, when we bought our house in 2023.
Yeah,
And
out of desperation.
Out of desperation, it was a quick thing. So we didn't know the 80-10 turn rule at the time, but now we look back and we can easily put things in those criterias.
We were at a different stage in our life. We lived in an area to where you would hear a gunshot in the middle of the night and just pray everybody's okay, but then go back to bed.
Call the cops and let them know, like, gunshots, blah, blah.
But they don't respond. But Camry was pregnant with our firstborn, and that was a deciding factor. So,
yep. Yeah, we literally started shopping. I think I told you, I was like, something happened. I can't remember what. Oh, I do know what happened.
yeah, that individual walked in to the backyard.
There was a man that walked in our backyard in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like chased him down and got him in camera. And
yeah. This is the shit we lived with. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So that happened and I was pregnant. I think I was in my 3rd trimester. And I told Chance, I said, "That's it. We're buying a house today." And he was like, "What?" And so our friend just became a realtor and I went on Zillow and instantly found a house that I thought was really cute. And I sent it to him and he was like, "Yeah, that's great." I was like, "Awesome." So I called our realtor, and she's actually a girl I work with now. And I said, "Hey, I found a house I want to look at. Can you get me in there today?" The house has been on the market for 1 day. We were the first people to see it. She got us in there, and I don't think we'd even looked at being pre-approved. We were the worst buyers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I had a pretty good idea.
You had an idea. I remember you saying, like, "Shop in this range." And I was like, "Okay."
I don't remember that at all. But
no?
We were pretty, we owned 2 homes at that time. And this is a foreign thing to people that don't do it all the time. And other people have done it before, but unless, it's easy to not know. So I should have gotten pre-approved and I didn't.
Yeah.
I just blindly.
But you kind of knew too. You're like, we should be fine.
Yeah.
There's no issue.
I had a steady W-2 job and, was mindful of my savings and wasn't an issue. So.
No. But we got in there. As we were walking through the property, I said, "I love it. Let's put an offer in." And she was like, "Okay." And she starts like getting her papers. And Chance's like, "Whoa, we have to talk about this. We need to talk ourselves and make sure we love it." And I was like, "I love it. Whatever they are asking, let's just offer that." You were like, "Don't put that on the paper. We need to talk. We'll call you."
I think we actually didn't want to risk it, and we offered over asking by 5,000. It was 219, and we ended up buying for 225.
Yeah.
And earnest money and waived inspections.
We waived everything.
Yeah.
That was probably not the best.
And we bought in the middle of. Was it winter?
No. Yeah.
We moved in like March.
It was in March. We moved in April. Going into what we've changed about our house. So the 80% that I loved, we are in a really great neighborhood, and everyone's like, sweet, and it's quiet. Everyone loves the kids outside to play. So that was huge. We felt safe. Obviously, it had the pool. We were starting a family. We liked that idea. It had a really cute playset, and the playset's not in the greatest condition, but it does the job. And it was cute. It had like little turf around it.
I think what I really liked was the car and a half garage, because we didn't come from really having a garage that we could use. I liked the idea of Camry coming home with the kids, closing the garage door behind her, and then getting out of the car. That way somebody didn't follow you home and, come in the garage or your driveway behind you. So she was able to lock herself safely in the garage and get out with the kids.
The funny thing about that is right now, the garage door.
Yeah, the garage, yeah.
The garage door is broken right now because my sister ran into it.
Yeah.
And, so our garage door is stuck up for a little bit until it gets fixed. Mm-hmm. But we're working on it. But yeah, I did like the idea of the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a lot about the property that we loved.
Well, the price point was really good for what the market was at the time. Everything was selling like hotcakes during COVID. So
yeah.
we were pretty pleased with the price per square foot and the home itself. I think there's a lot of upside. And we've owned it for 2 years, and it's probably already went up probably 30%.
It's what?
It's 30%.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Double.
Yeah, probably 30. Not double.
It's double.
No, it's not.
I did the thing.
No.
Oh wait, no, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Our neighbor's house is listed for sale right now.
Okay, kid. If anybody's looking to buy in a quaint neighborhood with a cheap HOA and neighbors that are coolish.
Yeah. Okay. The 10% things that we would change about the house and have been changing about the house. First off is painting.
First off is the previous owners had a disabled child, and there was a track system in the ceilings. And we get it all the time from people that were snooping on old MLS photos. Like, the track system, like, what'd you do? I was like, well, we simply took it down.
All of our neighbors have asked us.
Yeah.
They're like, so.
It was like a big deterrent for people that maybe wouldn't buy the house for that reason. I said, we just took it down. And like, they had a bedroom that they took out a bedroom, made the bathroom bigger. They put a door from the bathroom to their daughter's bedroom and had a track that rolled her into the bathroom. So when we bought the house,
the track went through the drywall.
Well, it's just another door to door.
Well, yeah, but remember the drywall was cut up so the track could go through. Yeah. There's a lot of little things to work on. Yeah,
but I'm the type to like always try something and then ask questions later. So we just simply
this man put drywall up for the first time.
No, not the first. Maybe the first time. So
yeah,
it turned out good.
It looks great. Yeah,
but it wasn't that hard of a thing, really. So
no, thank God, because I don't have a view for that. A vision.
I have a view for a hole in the wall that needs patched, and
I was like, no, I had no idea what you could have done to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. It looks awesome. You would never know. We do still need to work on where the tracks were in our ceiling. There's still some holes there, and like we need to patch those and get the ceilings all repainted. So 2 years in, to me, I still call it the new house because we're still slowly working on some projects. But
we work on projects as we have time, and with 3 children in the last 2 years, we don't have time.
We don't have time. Yeah. Yeah.
We live with the 10%, and we like our house. So
I've been repainting. For me, I couldn't paint. I was pregnant back to back. I can't really paint when you're pregnant, and then you don't want to paint around newborns either. So I've been slowly repainting the inside of the house. We did end up redoing our pool. So last year, we ended up getting the bottom redone to where it was shallow. For what?
It's just one. Oh, it's 3 foot for 16 feet, and then it tapers down to 5 feet, just to have more of a lounge area for the kids.
Yeah. So yeah.
They say you spend 80% of your time in the shallow end. So in reality, you don't really use the deep end of your pool, and a lot of times it goes to waste. So
yeah, that's true.
The majority of the pool is 3 foot shallow. Yeah.
Especially because our kids are going to be so young in this house, so they're going to need that area to play. Yeah. We ended up patching the door to the bathroom, so that was something that we could change, and we were able to fix.
We fenced in the backyard, mainly for our dogs, but it also applies to kids. And
contain all of them. Yeah, we got a fence. We redid all of our landscaping, which looks really great.
We did that ourselves.
We did that. We do everything ourselves because
it took off I thought it would take 2 days. It took 4 days, and I rented the equipment on Friday, so I didn't have to return it till Monday. So we have to pay for pretty much Friday, and they're not open on Sunday. So
the trick.
Yeah, you get 1 day free
through the weekend.
Yep. So.
I was pregnant. We're out there shoveling gravel.
Yeah.
But it looks great. So yeah, those are the things that we could change. Now the 10% that we could live without or live with. For me, it was closets because our house doesn't have huge closets. When they did redo our bathroom, they did add a decent sized closet on there. So my closet's in the bathroom. Chance's closet is in our bedroom, and then obviously
I think your closet's bigger, so.
Which is why I chose them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I gave it to you.
Yeah. It is bigger. But, for me, I've always wanted a walk-in closet. Just something physically walk into.
You pull the clothes aside and you can step in between the clothes.
Just close the door behind me.
Walk in.
Yeah. I could make it a walk-in if I needed to.
Be grateful, Camry.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for the house. I do love it. But there's always something about the house that you're not going to love. And so there are some things I need to learn to live with. Or live without. But
yeah.
Our house, when we first bought it, it was selling for a 3-bedroom. And it wasn't a 3-bedroom because...
Well, technically on their standards, it could have been a 4 before. They took out 1 bedroom to add a bathroom that was bigger. But then they were still trying to sell it as that same 3-bedroom, trying to include a basement, bedroom. It has egress, but no closets.
I know now why it says 3-bedroom. Because when you do implement a new listing, it will refer back to the old information on the house from a prior listing.
But you should update the
listing. So you should always update it, of course. But I wonder if maybe they didn't update it because it would have been a 3-bed when they...
Well, they didn't update it because I would have bought it for less. And we tried to argue that.
We did. Yeah, it was originally a 3-bed. They cut out a bedroom and made the bathroom huge. But then when we purchased it, the basement's half finished and they kind of snuck a bedroom down there in a cubby space, which it does. I mean, we use it as a guest bedroom now and it's perfect for it, but we wouldn't put our children down there.
Yeah.
So, but I did learn why that's probably. All right, now tying into the 80-20 marriage rule.
Yeah, marriage tie-in. So 80-20 in marriage, celebrate the great 80% and accept the rest. Or accept and be willing to work on.
Yeah, that'll be something that you could at least try to work on together, or something that you can potentially just push off and
not push it off.
Not push it off. I guess
about it.
Well, not talk about it, but it's like things that might not be that important.
Yeah.
You know, you want to focus on the 80%. So the concept of the 80-20 rule, it came from a book and a movie called Why Did I Get Married? And research in a long-term relationship shows people typically get 80% of their needs met by their partner. The remaining 20% is what's missing. Maybe it's small habits, personal traits, or interests. Yeah, I mean, no one's going to be perfect. No one's going to have that. They're 100% exactly what I'm looking for, because once you are in a long-term relationship, you are going to start to notice little things about someone that, you know, might trigger you, or this might be a little red flag feel, but what is it? They call it the ick.
The ick.
The 20% ick.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, isn't that what it's called?
I don't think you should say your spouse gives you the ick.
Maybe not.
That's like a dating terminology. If you give me the ick, I might just move on. But once you're married and have a marital obligation to fulfill.
I guess like ick is just something like when someone does something, it's kind of like, I don't love it.
Yeah.
I think it's not a good term.
I don't love the word ick.
Okay, maybe it's a bad.
For married couples.
You're right.
If you're dating,
maybe
I can use the word ick because I can hurt your feelings and move on. But
that's true. There's just always going to be something.
There is.
You know, you might not like the way they fold laundry. You might not love that.
I love the way you fold laundry.
Because
I don't do it.
Because I'm the only one that folds laundry.
I load the washer and put clothes in a dryer, and I carry the clothes to Camry.
Yes. You know, I feel like you do really well with house chores. I never have to actually ask you to do house chores.
Yeah, which
and honestly,
ask me to fold because I don't volunteer for that.
There's a couple times where I'm like, I need help folding.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of a side note, but Chance and I had learned something from a podcast, but it was about making your list of like, was it 5 things?
Like non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables. Like, these are things that I will not do. I can't do it. I'm so sorry, but you need to do these. And vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was changing the litter box.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was pregnant, so I couldn't. But then by the time I was getting to the point where I was allowed to, I just kind of told him, like, this is my non-negotiable. I can't do it. It grosses me out. I don't want to.
Yeah, same.
And you said that was fine.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to fold the laundry.
Yes, you're like, you have to fold the laundry.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one I felt like you always did.
Can't remember. Oh, when you were pregnant, you were breastfeeding, and you would feed the kids. I would change the kids. So we would both wake up in the middle of the night and take care of the kids that way. Like you would cook, I would do the dishes.
Yeah. I feel like we're always trying to do things as a team.
Yeah.
You know, if one person's doing dishes, the other person's trying to grab a towel, dry them off, and put them away. That kind of plays into like that really first episode of ours, like roles.
Yeah.
You know, the boundaries set, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's a team effort. Everything's a team effort.
Yeah, we have a role. It's just like an understanding, like they need help, so how can I help? And you just observe, like they're cooking, destroying the kitchen, and I can step in and clean the dishes.
When I'm burning the food, Chance is always opening the screen of our door to air out the smoke. It's a team effort. But 80-20 goes into a lot of things. So celebrating the 80%, you know, make sure like acknowledge 80% that you do love about the person, and the 20% that you might not love. Just try to like communicate with your partner about it and talk about it together. Maybe it's something you guys can work through and potentially get better on, or maybe you'll start to learn like this isn't actually that important, and the 80 is actually going to overshadow the 20% that I don't love.
Yeah. I think a lot of times too, like that 20%, like if it's an issue of yours, maybe look inwards and think if there's something that I can do.
Yeah.
Because if you're not folding the laundry, maybe we discuss, you know, how can I help? Or maybe she's doing something else that's, you know, taking her time away from doing certain things. And I'm just like, why is the laundry not getting done? But in reality, she's doing this other stuff that I'm not appreciating, and could maybe just take note of that. But
yeah, I guess the seeking the 20%, so that kind of touches a little bit on
a lot of, yeah, a little bit. It's a loaded question. Don't want to talk about it too much, but a lot of people seek 20% elsewhere. Out, say, for instance, if you're dating and you think this person's maybe not a good fit, not good enough, but in reality, they are the 80%, and you're just seeing the 20% somewhere else, you know.
The 80% of the perfect person in your head could be the person that you're with. You know, they might do all those things and say like everything that you love, but they might be missing that 20%. And you might meet somebody that only has that 20%, but you're seeing that and you're like, oh, you're such a great listener.
You're risking, you're sacrificing everything you want for a small percentage. Yeah,
and then say you do pursue that person that only has 20%, you're going to quickly realize like, crap, I'm missing 80% because I wanted that 20% met. And yeah,
very rarely do you level up sometimes. So if you have that 80%, you're probably not going to go to 85, 90. You're probably going to go 20. So
yeah, that's true. We didn't want to talk on that too long, but that is a part of the 80-20 rule. I mean, there's a lot of different factors in the 80-20. There's different, you know, 80% of the person, the personality and everything, but also could go into the actual relationship, you know, bringing in the 80% and what they're lacking, the 20%. You really got to like focus on that 80% and all of their strong suits. And I mean, you fell in love with that person for a reason. So just making sure that that 20% doesn't overshadow, as long as it's something that isn't life changing. But how to apply it in real life. So focus daily on what your partner does bring to the table, focusing on that 80%, the strong suits in it. When 20% does pop up, always ask yourself, does this matter enough to risk the 80%? So, and then that's also having that conversation.
Hopefully your answer is no.
Hopefully it's no, of course. But communication is always key. So have the conversation. The more you nurture the 80%, the smaller the 20% will feel. That's kind of what I was getting at earlier, too, I guess. Like, it'll kind of go away. But yeah, as long as you are focusing on that 80% and making that a strong bond, as long as the 20% are little things, you know, you might have a quirky, funny, you know, a quirky laugh that you don't love, or a sense of humor you don't love, but the 80% is going to overshadow that 20%. The mindset shift. No one is 100% perfect in life, marriage, or in a house. That's very true.
I think so.
I think so too. Appreciating the 80% helps you maintain gratitude and perspective. The 20% should be something you can either accept or work on together, not something that overshadows everything else. So, communication, focus on the 80%.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess just a little bit of tidbit for financial. Normally they say you make 80% of what you bring in is from 20% of your efforts. So don't focus on all these different tasks, kind of niche down to the 20% that actually makes you 80%. So instead of
break that down,
20% of what you do on a daily basis actually makes you 80% of your income. So chasing all these other different things actually is just like a time suck and doesn't make you money. But you think it does because it's busy work. But in reality, 20% of your inputs are 80% of your outputs.
Huh, I like that. That's so true.
How so?
Well, I'm kind of thinking more so like referral based business. Yeah. You know, like when you're that 20% where I'm just like making quick little phone calls and just checking in with people and not even talking about real estate, but like that's going to eventually be the 80% of my income that's referring business to me.
Yeah. So 20%, like just say following up with referrals, that's 5%. Like, that has a greater return than another thing that might not have any return. So
running back and forth to the store to get closing gifts and
yeah, closing gifts, very small return.
I love it though.
I know you do. Do it for the gram.
Do it for the gram. So love the 80% you adore, obviously, in everything parts of life, except or plan for the 10% you'll change and accept the 10% you can live with. Same rule applies for marriage, parenting, and marriage. Marriage and money.
Yes. And a lot of other things.
Everything, honestly, every part of life. It pertains to everything, but in general when you're buying, and always keep in your focal point the 80-20 rule in marriage and parenting. So
cool. Yeah.
That very much sums up today.
Perfect.
Perfect. Look at that.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Listen to us on Spotify. Watch us on YouTube. Follow us on socials. We are Married to the Market on Instagram and Facebook. And on our professional pages.
I'm Chance.thelender.
And I'm Camry Stoffel.tc Realty. All right. Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Bye.